Ludus, Vulpes.
Welcome to Ludus Vulpes. My name's Kirsty.
And I'm Phil.
You join us for episode 3 of our design diaries of overgrowth.
This episode we're going to be talking about admin. Exciting stuff.
Ooh.
We're going to be talking about manufacturing.
And production.
And finally,
selling.
And where are we going to be selling?
At the expo.
Dear God, what's wrong with us? Okay.
Or were we?
I'm going to take this off now. That's silly.
I like it. I like my little design
I like
hat.
that.
Thanks. I've had it for years and years and years.
My cowboy hat is just way too shiny. Okay, so let's start with the look at what we produced. So
yeah, the
idea was we'd seen a final production copy. You'd had a glimpse of it at the end of the last episode, but now we're going to show you the good stuff.
Oh, would you look at that?
Look at that.
It's a mighty thick board, Phil.
It's actually surprisingly thick. There you go. It's a proper chunk of oak. And there's some beautiful tokens with it. Look how beautiful that is.
I'll be honest, the original ones that we were going to do that we spent probably a week and a half creating and painting and cleaning and polishing, which made, was it like 10 games?
Yeah, it made my life hell.
We realised we needed to adjust the production method.
And the quality of the final component.
Quality. So the original component was, the original components were MDF that were painted in solid, like an orange colour and like a tealy colour.
Yeah, the colours are kind of similar.
Stayed the same, but it was a solid toy-safe paint that we'd used. But it took how many coats to get it right?
4
coats, and then it was sticky, so we're having to wipe everything down, and it just didn't have the same pizzazz as the board did.
No, the tokens looked lackluster next to the board. So we spoke to Mike and asked for solutions, because that's what happens when you know someone who knows stuff about wood. You ask them for solutions, and Mike suggested, actually, these are
oak veneer.
So they're still MDF in the middle, but the oak on the outside is a very thin veneer. And they could be wood stained. So they wouldn't need to be primed or anything like that. They could be stained, and you'd still see the pattern of the wood through the stain. And after we'd done one set of tokens, we realised that they were our tokens for the game.
Yes, it was. So all the others have got pushed aside, and they'll be used for prototypes of other games, I'm sure, because we never waste anything. And
we've got a lot of spare tokens.
Yeah. And one of the things that was really important, which I forgot to mention in the playtesting video that we did before, was I have 2 uncles which are colourblind. And as my gran was unfortunately unwell and in hospital, my uncle was over from Crete. So we took advantage to playtest this game with him, and he confirmed that he could easily identify the difference between the tokens, not just from the colour, but also the shape. So it had passed my requirements of being suitable for colourblind friendly.
So we knew what we were making. We'd got some idea of the tokens. We'd also placed an order for some boxes. 125 boxes and rule books were rapidly on their way to us. And we got a few weeks left before Expo for Mike to make some boards. Now, what happens next?
How easy do you think it is to make 125 games, Phil?
Straightforward, really.
Yeah. Of course it is. If you've got a manufacturing company, if you're used to this, if it's something that you can do mass production with multiple machines.
Yeah. We didn't have that. We had a guy in a workshop.
Yeah.
And we went and helped the guy in the workshop. So
several days in a row.
Yeah, we sanded the boards, Mike beveled them, Mike laser etched them, we waxed them, we oiled them, we got them looking beautiful, we
prepared
stained
each and every token so it looked beautiful.
Yeah, and we were
bags.
We had a very strong ambition that we were going to have 100 copies ready for the UK Games EXPO, and we missed that mark by about 50.
Yeah. However, what we did do, and we made sure, one of the things that was really important to me is what's the point in having a game or having a puzzle that once you lose a piece, that's it. It's unusable. So one of the key things that was very important for me, which actually increased the production amount, was rather than just including the 25 tokens that each player plays with and the action marker selection, action selection marker, I should say, we're going to include 30 tokens.
You can lose 5 and you're still all right.
And you still can play. We wanted it to be able to pass through the generations. So including the extra 5 tokens, fingers crossed, will at least get you through a generation or 2.
Yeah. So, yes, we got our production nightmare, which was we hadn't got a lot of time and we would love to have had 100 copies available for Expo. However, we didn't quite make the mark.
We didn't.
So, but that's okay, because there's other things we can do as well, and there's other things we needed to do. So
very important things, in fact, that we needed to do.
Yeah, so in the middle of production nightmare, we kind of realised we'd missed out on doing something that I think we both considered to be quite important.
Yes.
But we were so busy visiting hospitals and making wooden boards and tokens that it had just slipped our minds. Kirsty, what was it?
The one, the only, the Boardgame Geek.
Yeah, we hadn't added overgrowth to the geek, and that's not as straightforward as you might think, because the admins have to approve every...
so you go through the whole process of adding all the game, you type it out, select every possible mechanic in it, everything that's included, how many people it's for, you go through the whole process, you submit it. Then it gets rejected because there's no publisher.
No, it was the other way around, actually. We thought we were doing it right.
Oh, yes, that was it, yes.
So we thought, where do you start? Well, you start with publishers and designers. So let's add ourselves as a publisher and designers. And they got rejected because we hadn't got a game.
So we had to add ourselves first, and then that got rejected. So then we added the game, and then...
went back.
Backtracked, and then added ourselves as the owners/designers and publishers of this game.
Don't make the mistakes we made.
No.
Game first. Boardgame Geek is a database hooked on games, so if the game isn't there first, they can't tag anything to it, and they won't accept submissions from designer or publisher unless there's a game to attach them to. So we got it right eventually.
Steep learning curve.
It was a rapid
Took
learning
an extra
curve.
week and a half longer than it needed to if we'd known. But we know now, and hopefully now you do too.
And it is just about the approval process. It doesn't take that long to fill in the form online. No. The approval process can take a little while. But they have a lot of games to approve over a short period of time. And they are, I would say their turnaround is pretty good. It's just when you've got Expo coming up and you want people to be able to register plays and things like that, you really want it to be there in time.
You do. You do.
And we did, with about a week and a half to spare, because...
yes, we did.
Yeah.
Because we didn't just have Expo, we also had Here for Games Convention. And the Here for Games Convention was the first time that we were able to showcase to the world the box, wasn't it? So we're able to show this wonderful empty box.
We actually had one board that Mike had got, so we put that on Mike's stall, and if people want to have a look at it, we got the MDF prototype board that people could play, and if people wanted to look at the actual board, they could go to Mike's stall and have a look at what the finished product would be, which caused a lot of raised eyebrows, like, are you going to do all of this in Word? It's like, yeah, we are, because it looks really pretty.
Yes, we are. Yeah, and people didn't quite understand the concept, and especially doing it ourselves. I think people are like, well, you're obviously going to send it to China, aren't you? Or you're going to get it manufactured. It's like, no, we're putting the graft in ourselves. This is our first one. It was a project of devotion.
It was, yeah.
And it was also a project of it was an emotional break from everything else that was going on, stressful in our lives at the time, that was just... God, hospital visits, another hospital visit, another tank of fuel gone, going backwards and forwards, and it kept us busy when
normally you just dwell on what was happening around you, and we
Yeah.
didn't have time for that, and it was helpful. Let's just leave it at that.
I think it was the best I'd ever coped in situations like that. I'm just going to be honest. This is a wonderful distraction.
So, Here for Games was great because it was like a final playtest, or I guess a demo for people, general public, to come along and have a look. We got a couple of people who were like, "We're going to come and see your expo. We want a copy." And we also did some light promotion on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, and yeah. So we've done a little bit of promotion. We've not done anywhere near as much promotion as a lot.
And as we should have, but
we didn't have time.
Hopefully you understand why we didn't do that with the personal issues that were taking place.
These videos were going to come out before Expo for the most part, and that didn't happen. So we now had we'd played it with a lot of people at this stage. We'd got the boards ready, we got the boxes ready, we got the rule books. We got the rule books. We were ready to go, and
tokens were being put into the little cute bags.
Yes, and we were doing that the night before Expo.
No, let's be honest. The final boxing, last few boxes were done on the morning before Expo. My wonderful mother came over, didn't she?
Yep.
And she helped us out because I was just falling apart at the seams. And we created a little boxing video, didn't we? So most people do an unboxing. No, we do a boxing video, so you know everything that is in Overgrowth.
So, UK Games EXPO. If you're going to start selling a game, if you've designed a game, you publish a game, if you're going to sell it,
where else?
Why not start there? Because it's only the biggest expo we've ever had, and that was fine. And the gratification of sort of 9:05, someone making a beeline for the store,
literally running. I was like, "Oh, someone needs the bathroom." We were fairly near the bathroom in the cafe for clarification. And
actually what they wanted to do was make sure that they got their hands on the first copy. So congratulations.
Which is really exciting.
Congratulations you got
there should be a picture here.
You got the first copy,
somewhere.
And that was incredibly exciting. And honestly, it was a moment of, I think we both just almost collapsed because it was relief that someone wanted to buy. This is one copy of a game.
This is one copy. This is it. This was enough for us. Someone was interested in just one copy. That was enough.
And because of what we managed to produce, and people needed recompense copies, so we got 45 to sell, and we decided we were going to release 15 a day.
Yeah.
So because we're a big publisher and our big release, we're going to make sure everyone has a chance.
Yeah, well, to me that was important because if you're only coming for one day, you should have the equal opportunity to do it.
And what happened each day?
So Friday, we sold out in 2 hours.
That was like, what?
Saturday, we sold out in an hour and a half. So what happened on Sunday? 1 hour.
Yeah, it was
sold
crazy.
Out.
It should have been longer, but people who have been stopping by on Saturday and got weekend passes, spam by to pick a copy up first thing in the morning. These people had all had time to play the game. Some of them had time to go home and decided they didn't want the game, but they still came back and bought it. So I was like, there must be something. We've designed a decent game if people want to come back and buy it, and that was really satisfying. And such a weird feeling to realise that you produce something that people want. And it's 45 copies. We are not getting above our station here.
We did get extra copies as well, pre-orders.
We got another 17 pre-orders, so that was nice. Which, if you do your maths, we've still got some boxes left. And we have games being produced.
We do.
And you're more than welcome to buy a copy of Overgrowth. And I'll figure out a way of putting some kind of link somewhere to where you can buy Overgrowth.
Yeah.
So, Expo was a surreal and a wonderful, wonderful experience. Thank you to everyone who bought a copy. It was so gratifying. And everyone who sort of was willing to back us and put a pre-order in was really satisfying as well. We signed every copy.
Yeah.
So that was quite nice as well. And some people,
and you can still have your copies signed. We will sign every single copy if that's what you want. Just pop it in the notes on the order if you do decide to choose to have one.
Yeah. When you see the signatures for Kirsty and Phil, we're not the other Kirsty and Phil. You can't tell people that. That's cheating.
Sorry.
So Expo passed in a blur because we're still doing some media coverage. You'll hopefully see some of the media coverage.
Press coverage as well.
So Expo Pass in a Blur. We sold 45 copies plus 17 pre-orders.
Yep.
Thank you to everyone who stopped by the stall, had a look, and picked up a copy.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate it. Without you, we couldn't do this.
So, hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. If you have, please like and subscribe.
Don't forget, we're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, aka X. Just search for Ludus Vulpes.
Thank you for your time today.
Thanks everyone. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.